All right, Nick, let's talk about the Seattle Seahawks head coach Mike Macdonald. Had some ups and downs this season. I think one of the bigger concerns was consistency on the offensive side of the ball. Obviously, they move off of offensive coordinator Ryan Grubb. Now they're looking for a new OC to step in. And the latest candidate they're going to bring in to interview seems like an absolutely perfect fit. We'll get into that in just a minute. But first, I'm Andrew, and this is Saturday Morning Inspection. All right, Nick, as I alluded to, new man on the block there, bringing in to interview for offensive coordinator, potentially for the future of the Seattle Seahawks, is none other than the now New Orleans Saints, Klint Kubiak. Really great addition, a guy who was really successful in that Shanahan system over in the 49ers, moved over to the Saints. A lot of injuries involved with the Saints, so you can't really base this season's performance on what he brings to the table. I do think this would be a really great hire for the Seahawks. But let's jump into the article and we can talk more about it on the other side. This, of course, is from over on NBC Sports. It says there's another known candidate for Seattle's offensive coordinator vacancy per Jeremy Fowler of ESPN. The Seahawks have put in a request to interview Klint Kubiak. Kubiak, 37, just finished his first year as the Saints offensive coordinator. He previously was the 49ers passing game coordinator in 2023 and the Broncos passing game coordinator and quarterback coach in 2022. Again, from NBC Sports. I think this is a great hire. I want to know what your thoughts are on this one, Nick. But before we get to you, Seahawks fans, in the comment section below, who are you thinking for OC of this team? Do you want someone a little proven, a guy that's been around the block? Or are you looking for an up-and-coming young gun? Are there some names that come to mind when you think of the perfect new offensive coordinator for this team? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. But nonetheless, Nick, what do you think about this latest interview for the Seahawks?
It would be the absolutely perfect hire. It could not go any better. You look at a guy in Kubiak who is perfectly suited to take on a role like the Seattle Seahawks. People forget it, and you kind of alluded to it a little bit there. Early on in the 2024 season, the Saints offense was unbelievable. They were clicking on all cylinders, dropping 40 burgers. Then they got devastated by injuries. Offensive line, receivers, skill position, quarterback. I mean, they were one of the top 4 or 5 worst hit teams in terms of injuries throughout the entire NFL. And it was mainly on the offensive side of the ball. And because that was Kubiak's first year with the offense, they never really developed a rhythm and that kind of fell off. The reality was he had a great scheme. He's a great play caller. Small sample size. I get it. We've only seen a few games, but boy, you just talk about great strategy. If you look at what happened in those two victories against the Cowboys and the Panthers, and I know not great defenses, but still, if you watch those games, and I just so happen to watch them both, they were great play calling games. It was great schemes. Players were wide open. It wasn't coverage bust. It was a good sequence of plays getting players open. It was Ben Johnson, the Detroit Lions like ish, right? It wasn't as good as Johnson. He's obviously the best and most well-known offensive coordinator in the game right now, but it was in that ballpark, and that's exactly what the Saints are looking for. Because we know Mike Macdonald, he worked wonders on this defense. There's a lot of great numbers indicating that the last couple of years of Pete Carroll, when he was running the show, this defense had gone from one of the best in football to bottom 5 this past season. They're now playing like a top 5 unit. They're definitely trending in the right direction. It was the offense, mainly the running game and play action element off that running game that was totally lacking. I think Kubiak, again, like you said, from that Shanahan McVay kind of offense, that strategy, that zone bootleg, inside zone concept, outside zone play action, that scheme that's been dominating the NFL for the past 6, 7 years. It's simple, but it's effective. It's exactly what the Seahawks need. This would be the best hire the Seahawks could make this entire sequence. In fact, if they bring in a Klint Kubiak, I'm just going to say it right now, that the rest of the offseason could be average. They could have an average draft, average free agency. If they get a guy like Kubiak to call plays, this is a team going into 2025 that, in my opinion, isn't just another chance, doesn't have another chance to win 9, 10 games. They're the favorite to win the division. That's how close they are. Again, 3 straight winning seasons. They get a good play call on offense. We know the defense is there. Geno Smith's the guy. They got the talent on the receiver side. They just need a guy that knows how to call plays with the best of them. And I think Kubiak would be perfect for that role.
Yeah, Nick, and I know head coach McDonald recently came out and said that, he wants to extend Geno. He wants Geno to be here for a while. That's his guy. Obviously, haven't gotten it done quite yet, but I think that is going to be their long-term answer, especially when you're looking at a guy like Kubiak as the option for this team, because you look at the last few years, what Gino's done good all 3 years. But if you look at 2023 and 2022 especially, it seemed more seamless. It was more effortless. It didn't seem like Geno Smith put the team on his back and had to make all of these heroic plays all the time just to get anything done. And why was that? Is because they had an offense that played to his strengths. One thing that we saw out of the Seahawks they didn't do this past year with Grubb is they were league low in running play action passes. Geno Smith has always been really great out of play action passes, something that has really played into his game and made him a very, very successful player. Go to Kubiak. What did the Saints look like this year? 51.2% of their plays were play action passes, the highest percentage in all of the NFL. Perfect fit, fits Geno Smith, fits what this Seahawks team had been doing really well in the past. I think this will be a straight home run, walk-off grand slam type of hire for offensive coordinator for the Seattle Seahawks. This would be a really good move for them.